So why is it okay that Shannon not be privy to the video that John Bellino has that could be extremely detrimental to her? Like, somebody make it make sense to me. I mean, shouldn't she get a heads up of something so serious, especially when she has these friends circling around her that are well aware of it, and the fact that they're expecting to put it out there? Anyways, y'all, what's going on? It's your girl Taina B here. Welcome to my chat party. I'm so excited that you guys could join me, even a little bit of you, because my views have been pretty low. But guess what? I've still been getting views, which means there's still people at my party. So thank y'all. I told y'all it's even the little things for me. I don't need a big old party. You know what I'm saying? Whoever I have, whoever stops by, thank you guys so much. I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate you liking, subscribing, commenting, coming back again. You know what I'm saying? Staying all the way through to my party. Something, staying for a few minutes to the party. Just showing your face, coming fashionably late, whatever it is. Thank you so much, you guys. So I'm here to do my review, share my opinions and thoughts on the Real Housewives of Orange County, season 18, episode number 8. Once a traitor, always a traitor. And I guess that statement couldn't be more factual in the world for some of these ladies, but okay. So let's go ahead and get into it so we don't waste a whole lot of time. We start off with Tamara, Heather, and Emily having a sit down. They're pretty much recapping just some things that have taken place in Big Bear and yada, yada, yada. Long story short, the idea of whether or not the video should be disclosed comes up. Tamara leads the charge, saying that she feels like they shouldn't tell Shannon, and Heather's chiming in pretty much like, oh, no, no, let's not, which I personally don't think is a good idea, you guys. Now, I understand to their point a little bit that they feel like, listen, Shannon's already been over the edge. She's already been going through a lot. This is one less hole that she needs in her head, pretty much, and so it's like, why shake up her world even more? But that's the thing. Listen, her world is already shaken up and she needs to be put on game to what's about to happen so that she can prepare. Let her have her meltdown, but at least she knows what's going to be presented to her and what's about to appear on her doorstep. Like, to me, it's nothing worse than being blindsided, like something so important, such as someone having something that could, you know, cause even more issues for me. Like, why should she not? Like, I get being in protective mode, but sometimes you got to really pick and choose when to use that card wisely. And I don't think it's a good idea. You guys can let me know if I'm wrong, what you think, if you would hold it back from your friend for your reasons, or if you would go ahead and let her know what time it's about to be to save her even more. Like, please tell me. So anyways, Shannon's getting a breathalyzer installed in her new car that she's purchased, which I can appreciate because I feel like it's taking accountability, for her mistakes, because she did make the comment that it'll be a reminder to her every single day of what she did. And, while we as individuals can tend to be really hard on ourselves, you know, I don't know if I should say sometimes it's necessary, but that's something so serious that she did, that you want to do whatever you can. And sometimes it's going to be painful as hell to be that reminder that I never need to do this again. So I'm not mad at her for that. I would be a little nervous about that breathalyzer myself, because apparently if you don't hum into it the right way when you're blowing, that's a violation. It seems like if you look at the thing wrong, it's going to be a violation. It's very sensitive. So I hope that's working out for her. But I would be on eggshells with that thing. And so, anyways, we fast forward to Jen and Katie. They're having mat yoga. And just in that conversation, I can appreciate them getting together. I feel like that was a good matchup because they share similar stories and just the background history of their exes and this whole trying to blend families and navigate with the co-parenting. And Katie is sharing with us, or really with Jen, but with us to view that, her and her ex-husband, they don't speak. And even when she was getting ready to walk down the aisle, she knew it was something that she shouldn't do. But her dad kind of talked her into it. And I can't stand when people do that. Like, I understand all this money is spent and all that, but listen, none of that matters when you have to spend forever with someone who you potentially know ain't that someone. And listen, if you at the altar and you decide this ain't gonna work, it's easier said than done, but it's your life. Like, So even though she went through it, I will say that I have even more respect for Katie because she decided not to stay in something that just wasn't going to be any good for her and that she wasn't happy in, and she got the hell out of Dodge. And to me, there's nothing like a strong woman in that sense. I know that there's a lot of women stuck in marriages that they're not happy in, and for their own reasons, right? I don't want to be the one to sit up here and judge and say, well, you shouldn't be up in that. Life is too short. But I will say, I feel sad for those ladies because there is so much more to life, right? And I understand sometimes it's not easy to walk away from the situation, but I admire a woman who finally gets the strength to do it because we know that it's not easy. I feel like you're more of a G when you could say, you know what, this is going to be hard. I don't know how I'm going to make it, but I'm going to do it anyhow because my happiness means everything to me. So shout out to Katie for that. I'm telling y'all, I'm liking her more and more, and I'm respecting her more in her hustle and everything like that. And, she's just letting us know how her daughter, Kylie, I believe her name is pretty much even taking more to her husband, Matt. She's starting to call him, I think she called him dad, which that's a triggering word for her because she doesn't have a great relationship with her biological father. And so they're working well as a family unit for what it is. And I like how Katie pretty much just said, I believe it was even in her confessional, how sometimes, for lack of better words, you just gotta, it's hard, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and it just works how it should in the end. And so now we fast forward to Emily and Shane at their house. The takeaway from that, I'll say, Emily's hustle is real. The fact that she had nothing came to something, even as we're watching her sit at this point in her beautiful backyard. You know, I guess to the contrary, some would say, Shade's parents have a lot to do with it. I ain't going to say all that, because Emily still went to law school. Law school is a freaking beast within itself. I have shared with you guys, I graduated law school. It is no joke, and then practicing will suck the life out of you. So that takes a level of cojones, a real level of determination and perseverance, blood, sweat, and literally tears at times. So, like I said, that's real commitment. So I know she has it in her to be a fighter, but as she's sharing, she's saying that she had to be mean coming up. And I'm like, but what's that have to do with now? Like, you're not having to fight for anything. So there's no need for you to be mean now. Like, you can put that to rest. And I get that once you have a trait, it kind of follows with you, but it just doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure that I fully understand why she had to even be mean back then. Was she protecting herself? Like, girl, what? I don't know. Somebody help me make it make sense. But like I said, I'm going to turn that into a positive. And again, say she did her thing. She hustled hard, though. She hustled hard. She worked hard. It was a dream for her. What Biggie say? It was all a dream. She used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine, hanging pictures on the wall. Every Saturday, rap attack, Mr. Magic Marley Marl. All right, y'all. That's shout out to that Notorious B.I.G. classic Juicy. If y'all know, then y'all know what I'm talking about. So I will definitely give her credit for that all day long. But to make the excuse that because you had to be mean, you're just going to be mean to random people now, especially people who don't deserve it, like Jen, girl, no. Anyways, moving on. So, oh yes, I will say too, in that she was mentioning just the relationship or lack thereof that she had with her mom. If you watched throughout the seasons, that's been a tumultuous one for her. And she just doesn't want that for her kids now, especially her daughter, because it's that mother-daughter dynamic. And I think she's doing a phenomenal job with that. She kind of looks to Shane for affirmation to say, am I doing a good job? Am I a good mom? And he was like, yeah, pretty much. And you can tell that Emily's a good mom. And I think when you've gone through what you've gone through growing up, it's going to go either way, right? Either you just going to emulate what you were given or you're going to do better because you know how it feels. And I get that completely, so it's important to break those generational curses. And Emily is doing an amazing job of that because she's in a position where she's worked hard to be able to provide for her kids, which is something she didn't have. So that's, a boss up right there. And for the fact that she's showing, most importantly, the affection that her children needs, the support, the hugs, the kisses, the just all of that, which is so important. So shout out to her for that. Now we go to Tamra driving with her daughter. next. And I think it's sweet just now in the scene of Kylie and Katie that, Kylie is wanting to legally change her last name to Katie's husband's last name. Again, because her biological father has not been that guy. And I just think that's so whack, you guys. How do we have people in the world that really just have these children and walk away like it's just no big deal? Like, oh, well, they'll figure it out. Like, what? Like, and just damage them so bad, emotionally, mentally, financially, you know, it's unreal. It's unreal. But I'll save that for another day. The ladies head to Tamara's Traitor event, which is a great show, by the way. I literally can't talk a whole lot because it's not like I've been a fan one favorite from the beginning. But I did watch Phaedra season, and we're going to call it that because y'all already know the whole talk was Phaedra, Phaedra, Phaedra. And that's the thing. I kept hearing the talks about Phaedra and how well she was doing. So I was like, let me check it out. Because I'm not going to lie to you, prior to that, I had no interest. But now that I watched the season, I was like, oh, this is a great show. And yeah, she really did her thing. I'm not sure if you guys had a chance to check it out. Well, I'll say I'm sure a lot of you have, but some of you probably haven't. If you haven't, check it out. It was really, really good, very entertaining. And so they're pretty much piggybacking off of that for this OC venture, which was kind of cute, I thought. Sidebar. I thought it was hilarious how when Vicky and Shannon were traveling to the event, Shannon was spilling her guts pretty much, and Vicky was totally disregarding by doing work in her phone. And I'm thinking, Shannon's like, I mean, are you even listening? And I'm thinking, the girl, yeah and no, because Vicky's probably thinking, girl, I didn't heard this 1,000 times before. Like, this is what you do. So super funny. They finally get there. They line up. They're waiting for the host to come out, pretty much how they, do things on the show. Teddy Mellencamp is the host. She comes walking out, and I'm like, why? Just why? But I will say I'll forever be reminded of Alexander Rogers. If you guys don't know who Alexander Rogers is, I've been subscribed to him for the longest time. He is a YouTube content creator. And when I tell you that young man is so freaking hilarious. He will have you in stitches, especially if you're at work and you're trying to keep it quiet. You're definitely going to have a bust out laugh when you watch his reviews because he's a no holds bar and he's so funny and uniquely funny at that. So check him out. But I've brought him up to say I'll forever be reminded of him. I don't know if you guys saw the last BravoCon, and he had an audience question. He came up to the mic. It was the Beverly Hills panel. And he asked Kyle Richards, because, Kyle and Teddy are close as well. He's like, why do you insist upon thrusting Teddy on us or thrusting Teddy upon us, y'all? It was the funniest thing. You would have to watch it to really get it. And even if you missed that, then you would have recognized that that clip from BravoCon actually made it into the Beverly Hills reunion. The best, the best. And when I tell you, if anybody was deserving of that type of recognition, it was Alex. So check that out. So I had that playing in my mind when Teddy came out. So I was annoyed, but at the same time laughing. But whatever the case, now we've also got to ask Tara that question too, right? We asked Kyle, I should say Alex asked Kyle, why are you thrusting Teddy upon us? Tamara, why are you thrusting Teddy upon us? Of all the hosts that could have been asked, like in OC, we couldn't have resorted back to some of the older ladies that have been on the show, or or I should say from past seasons. Gretchen, who else was on there? I don't know, because I'm seeing the faces, but I'm not remembering the names. Just anybody. They could have had Vicky even hosted. Like, I'm just like, Teddy, that is so corny to me. But anyways, not only was she a gnat, or is she a gnat like a lot of the people have called her. I remember Garcelle referring to her in, I think it was the last season of Beverly Hills to, or maybe before that, because Teddy made an appearance. And again, I was like, why? But again, she's just a corn muffin of an individual. And she tries, like, she's a try hard. She tries so hard to be that girl. I think they showed a clip from Bravo. Uh, I think that was a year BravoCon when she was trying to come for Vicky. I'm like, girl, be quiet. Like, Vicky's an OG. Just stop. You could never. Okay. Anyway, so the ladies sit blindfolded at a round table while Teddy secretly selects the traitor. And Heather and Katie go off to the side. And Heather shares that she's going to be hosting an event. And pretty much invites Katie, who tries to apologize for the whole paparazzi situation. Mind you, Heather immediately cuts her off on some pretty much, I don't really want to get back into that. I'm pretty much moving on from that. And it's like, I get that, but at the same time, I feel like if Katie didn't apologize, then eventually that was going to be a thing. Like I could see later on down the line it coming up and then Heather being like, she didn't even apologize for it. I mean, the least she could have done was apologize. It's like, girl, she tried, but you cut her all the way off. But let's sidebar to the fact where Katie had me hollering, where she was imitating Heather's hand gestures, like, and was like, girl, get your effing nails out of my face. Oh, I lived in that moment. I'm telling y'all, Katie sets the tone, in my opinion, for any newbie that enters the scene of any housewife franchise. Like, again, she's giving just the amount of everything, right? She's giving us, the high life that we get to see in her, just I don't know, her riches, I guess, right? Like things we like to see, the nice cars and the bags and the this and that. The nice fashions at time for her too. We get to see or have a little insight into her life. She has a great backstory of what's been happening with her. She has the right amount of energy, right? She's fun to be around, but she also seems like she's not fully a pushover either. So I really like her. I really like her. I'll say that. The paparazzi whole storyline of it all is like, we could have really, I think she could have come in even without that and still been able to kind of plant her feet, as she has been doing. But, I guess she figured she had to bring something negative to talk about. So, anyways, fast forward, Emily pulls Jen to the side now, and she's sharing with Jen pretty much how she's been feeling convicted for the way that she's been treating her, coming at her, talking about her expenses and what she doesn't have and how she should be paying rent and all this other stuff. And the long and short of it is that Emily's been acting in a very jealous driven fashion, apparently, because she then goes on to say, well, Jen, you grew up with having everything given to you. I didn't. Pretty much she had to fight for what she been through. And Emily, some folks just can't help that. Okay, and so that's how it should be, in my opinion. If you have parents that can afford certain things for you or can give you the life, that you should have. Isn't that what it's about? Last time I checked. And sorry for the ones who have to struggle, but it's real out there, right? Like you can't help the fact that your parents took care of you. I come from the most part a single parent household, but my mom still provided and made ends meet. And I had a friend at the time who was so freaking jealous, it's not even funny, that she would come at me like, you have a silver spoon in your mouth. I'm like, girl, my mom is a whole single parent doing this. Like, what the f- are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? But I didn't realize the fact that, listen, obviously my mom was that girl for getting the job done and had that super S on her chest, to make things happen. Let's not talk about what she had to go through to make it happen, but she was making it happen. That wasn't my fault that my mom put that work in to make sure that my brother and I were good. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that's crazy. But whatever the case, Jen then says that she looks up to Emily because it's good to surround yourself with women you can grow from, which is so true, right? I agree with that. But women like Emily, I don't know about that. So Jen gives, Emily a hug. And I just feel like Jen is too nice. She's just way too nice. I'm not saying stay mad and be mad or hold the grudge, but you can't forget. You got to put that in your mental Rolodex because at the end of the day, Jen, Emily insulted you multiple times throughout this season instead of lifting you up, instead of cutting you a check and saying, girl, listen, I know what it's like not to have because I grew up with that, So I got a little extra now. Let me help you out. Will this help to kind of pay your mortgage? And even if it's not that deep, something can I help with groceries? How about that? Or even if you don't want to cut a check, again, instead of being so damn negative, you send her positive text messages in the morning to let her know it's going to be all right and she's going to get back in her feet. So you went the other route. And like I said, not only did you just do this one time, no, you did it multiple times. And I think Jen needs to pay attention to that. Don't move on so easily from situations like that. I wouldn't be interested in looking up to someone like Emily after you sifted me down like wheat. Girl, bye. Shannon, Tamara, and Vicky, they walk off to the side, the Tres Amigas, and they're talking. So they get into the details of Tamara befriending Alexis, and Tamara's full of bull swanky because she's talking about she don't know what a hashtag means, because there was something where on Alexis's post, Tamara had put some type of hashtag becoming friends now or some crap like that. And, Shannon was pretty much bringing that to her attention. Like, I thought that was whack. Pretty much you're befriending the ops. And so the thing that really popped out is that Tamara was advocating for Alexis, because she's talking about Alexis constantly is saying, I don't want to hurt Shannon. Okay. And I really love Alexis being on this show. And even more so, Teddy being the host tonight on Traitors. Like, girl, lies, Tamara, stop it. All Alexis has been doing since the very moment she stepped on the scene to film on the cameras is coming for Shannon. That's all she's been doing. But she wants to get along with her for real. She don't want to hurt her for real. Like, come on, guys. Like, we are not like, what do you say? Like, Tamara, sometimes the lies that just like spew from her pores. It's like, I don't understand, and I never will, how Shannon entertains this lady at this point. I truly don't. Excuse me. And so, lo and behold, little does she know, she most likely will come out looking like the real fool in the end. And that's Alexis, right? When her and Johnny Boy have their falling out. But again, I'm just going to wait for it. Tamara says it's not her fault John is dating Alexis, but could it be your fault that you're befriending the ops, numbnut, after you and Shannon were good friends for so long? Or could it be your fault that you were sitting up here defending their relationship just last episode when you told John that he was looking healthier now that he's dating Alexis? Like, I'm bewildered, guys. I just don't understand sometimes the things that come out of people's mouths and the things that they really think that you believe. Like, really just gonna go for the okie doke on some things. Go away, Tamara. So, anyways, the talk of the Shannon video comes up with the other ladies at the table. Like I said, I don't understand why they think it's a good idea not to put Shannon on game. Tamara says it's hard to be stuck in the middle of not telling Shannon about it. And I'm like, how so? You love Shannon so much, right? And you're not really friends with Alexis for real. So just tell the lady, please. She instead offers advice to Shannon to clear John's name. And Shannon says, no, I'm not going to lie. And I don't blame her. And I love how Vicky then chimed in and told Shannon she has nothing to apologize to John for. Facts. Okay. And why is it a good day to be talking about John, y'all? Like, I understand that there's a lot going on with him, but can we spend one episode not talking about this man? Like, no, thank you. It's never a good day to talk about John. And I hope him and Alexis fade into oblivion after this season, because we don't need them. We're not interested. We don't care. And this is all whack. They're looking like the true wackadoodles at the end of the day while they're trying to come for Shannon. They look like the real crazy, bitter Bettys, of the day, of the month, of the year, going in. Like, what is this still for camera time to stay relevant? This is how your idea of getting them pockets fatter. Like, John, get out there and hustle to get your money up. Okay. Hustle some other, like, you know, acceptable, respectable, whatever way. Like, this ain't it, sir. This ain't it. And then getting your girl to piggyback and join in on the foolery. Like, get a life, John. Again, as I will always say and continue to say until you decide to do so. And so, like I said, I don't care to hear about them anymore. Well, at least until the article comes out that he and Alexis are no longer together. So, anyways, we pan back to the traitors of it all. The Tres Amigas are killed off because that's how the show works. You got to start eliminating people. So, at a point, they're taking a break. They're walking off, and Teddy pushes Tamara in the pool unexpectedly, which I thought was a little crazy. Granted, it was Tamara. So, it's like if it had to be all people, okay, great. And Tamara knows how to swim and all that. It wasn't going to be anything detrimental to her. But still, I'm just like, that's so like inappropriate to me, because I'm dressed to the nines and you're going to decide to push me in the pool and I don't know it. But I don't know if it's because Tamara's crazy and she does crazy things. She handles it really well. Or it could be that she secretly knew, but that just kind of threw me for a loop, because I would have been pissed. Like, call me not a good game player or team player or whatever. I would not have been here for that at all. Excuse me. So they get back, move on with the game. Long story short, the ladies vote. They learn that Heather was the traitor. which that was my initial guess all along. And I think eventually I thought it might have been Emily. Then they showed some scene, I think, where Heather was low key maybe talking to Teddy. And then I was like, oh, it's Heather. So, whatever the case, that was it, you guys. But I will say what I'm most excited for, because I don't know, will we call this like a filler episode? Like, I feel like it wasn't a whole lot to it, you know? So I was like, I guess. But I'm excited about the upcoming episodes, like how they gave us like an overview of what's still to come. Loving it, loving it. And I'm like, oh no, Jen, not you over here arguing with your girl Tamra, not the one who you love the position that you guys are in right now. Even though, again, the first season you came on, she threw a napkin in your face, and then even though she's been talking about your man, and then even though she was talking about your funds and the lack thereof, and shading you the whole time. Oh no, not what? You and her get into another argument, she starts coming for your man again. Again, Tamara is going to be doing what Tamara does, and that's deviling all the day long. So it's like, I'm kind of looking forward to it, but I'm not, because it's like, girl, this is aggravating. Like, we already knew that she was going to flip sides again. And here we go. It's what Tamara does. It looks like Jen is coming a little more aggressively this time. So since I gotta watch, I guess I'll try to be here for that. And hopefully that is really worth something. And it's about time that you stick up for yourself, Jen, against this lady. Like, let the gloves come off. Like, go in, let go and let have. Stop giving this lady a pass. She has come for you way too much for you not to shut her all the way down. So we'll see, y'all. It looks really exciting. Then I know they showed this clip of of Shannon sending a group message about a trip and her mentioning Alexis. At first I said, Shannon, I know you got to be kidding me. I know you're not about to invite this lady on this trip. And then she said you were not invited. I loved it. So it looks like we're in for a ride, you guys, and I will definitely be here to speak on it. I hope that you guys have a few things to say on my dance floor. The music is on. Don't be no prude. Get in the comments, dance, do your thing. Let me know what you think, what you thought. And I'll be back again next week to do it all over again. Hopefully it'll be some juicier stuff to talk about next episode. But if not, we know it's definitely sure to come. So in the meantime, y'all stay up, y'all stay blessed, and I'm out. Peace.